Our breaking news this evening is the identity of the man who sent the Obama administration into defend and explain mode this week. His name is Edward Snowden. He's an American former CIA employee and computer technician. Today, he came out as the leaker of classified NSA documents that spell out a secret surveillance program.
Did you know that the NSA intercepts every phone call we make, every email, every text?
Any intelligence service in the world that has significant funding and a real technological research team can own that phone the minute it connects to their network. As soon as you turn it on, it can be theirs.
I guess they just assume that.
Yeah, well, that's just what exists now. The upgrade that failed would have put a camera in every person's home.
Okay, now you just sound paranoid.
No, NSA actually admits it. Look.
They can turn it into a microphone, they can take pictures from it, they can take the data off of it.
Knowing what you download, reading what you type, watching you on your webcam.
Jesus.
Yeah, worst of all, there'd be no stopping it. I mean, not unless you turn off every computer in the world.
A global police state.
Exactly.
Now, it's been over a month since Edward Snowden received temporary asylum in Russia.
It's just strange being here. This was Cold War Central when I started at the Bureau.
Whistleblower Edward Snowden has left the airport in Moscow, where he's been holed up for several weeks and has received asylum for a year in Russia.
So why'd you leave?
I had a big mouth. Patriot Act was up for renewal. I was pushing for stricter safeguards. Burke at NSA wanted to fast-track approval. I didn't appreciate having somebody on the inside speaking out.
How's it going, guys? White Rabbit here. As I've said in previous videos, and as I'll continue to point out, Hollywood is often utilized to accustom the general public to specific, pointed narratives. This is a form of propaganda. Like I discussed in the previous video, how they started showing black presidents in movies before Obama was elected, and now they're starting to show women presidents before, most likely, Hillary is going to be elected. Certain themes are put into movies to get the general public used to a certain concept or a certain idea or a certain narrative as a precursor to actual real-world events. It's called social conditioning. Now, what I've just pointed out in this video are some alarming similarities between a movie that came out in 2009 called Echelon Conspiracy and how it relates to the Edward Snowden leaks, which took place in 2013. You guys have to realize that when it comes to the government trampling all over your Fourth Amendment rights, they're not going to keep that completely under wraps and totally tight-lipped forever. Sooner or later, that information is going to come out. Furthermore, to some extent, it needs to come out so that they can further their agenda, so that they can push it just one step further. And that is the whole point of putting all this stuff into the media so that they could eventually come out with this character named Edward Snowden, who seems like a whistleblower, but is quite apparently, at least to me, a plant. It's really quite simple, guys. You know, the elite own the media. They own the major news networks. So if there was a legitimate person coming out and being a whistleblower and putting out all this information that the government didn't want you to know, then the media that is owned by the elite simply wouldn't cover the story. To the contrary, we have this Edward Snowden leak where the media takes it and runs with it. The reason for this is quite simple, all right? This isn't rocket science. They want to leak the information on their own terms, and they want to frame the narrative in a way that they seem fit. And with this whole Edward Snowden thing, the consistent thread throughout it all is that all these other governments already possess this same type of intelligence operation, and that's how they frame it. From there, this strikes the debate on whether or not it's necessary, not whether or not it's trampling all over your Fourth Amendment rights, which is what it is. Sure, they mention that in passing, but that's not the focus here. And it's not the focus because this is all orchestrated. And I don't know how to prove it any better to you than to just show you firsthand the precursor to this whole Edward Snowden thing in cinema. So that was the point of this video. I wanted to show you the shocking similarities that I found in this Echelon Conspiracy movie made back in 2009. Now, keep in mind, this is not the only one. Obviously, there were other movies like Eagle Eye, which came out in 2008. There was the surveillance scene in Batman, which came out in 2012, I think it was. Years before that, you had Enemy of the State, which was like 1998. And those are just main movies where a whole lot of the plot surrounded this. There are also all kinds of different movies where similar topics are touched on. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative. I hope you found it interesting. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thanks, and God bless.